What's going on, team? We are live, and welcome to episode 12 of the Coffee with Sam podcast. We have exciting news, guys. We have just launched on Apple Podcasts. So head to Apple Podcasts, and you can get all 12, including this brand new episode, all 12 episodes live for free. Okay, so today's special guest is a multiple world champion, has been on American teams such as Spirit of Texas and Cheer Athletics Wildcats, and also the now brand new world famous Navarro College Cheer. These guys have a worldwide sensational hit with their Netflix documentary Cheer. If you haven't seen it yet, guys, go check it out. There are multiple episodes, and it really hits home how hard working cheerleading athletes are. So let's welcome on my very special guest, all the way from Texas, Dillon Brant. Good. So welcome to the podcast, Dillon Brant. Let's get straight into it. How did your life change after your Netflix sensation Cheer?
I would say it mostly changed the image of cheerleading more than my life has changed that much. I mean, yes, within a quick period of time, I went on Ellen and went on Oprah and did all these really cool things, which is actually really awesome. And that's awesome experiences that I'll remember forever. But I would say it mostly changed what people view cheerleading as a sport or as something taken more serious, a lot more than just changing me. I would say I've gotten a lot of opportunities though that I would have thought that would have taken longer to get, that are in the works that are really awesome. And obviously, everything that's going down right now obviously impacted that a little bit. So it's a little bit postponed, which is fine. But I would say, the amount of exposure for Navarro is insane. Even just our school, I'm pretty sure our school is completely filled up for the amount of students that can go there, which has never happened in the history of the school. So that's actually insane. So I would say that's things like that is definitely the most impactful. And obviously for tryouts this year, we've had, I don't even know, hundreds and hundreds of people try out for this team when maybe 100 people normally try out. And I think I'm sure we had at least 1,000.
That's insane. So we'll get to the cool experiences you've done since then. But you said about the impact of cheer. I find that in England, I was getting texts from friends from school that I hadn't seen for 10 years. And they were like, now we get it. And I was like, finally.
Oh, that's awesome.
I was like, finally. It was like friends that that were friends at school. Then I left school. So I didn't start cheering until I'd left high school. So friends that knew me that then saw my social medias doing cheerleading, and they were like, that's a bit weird. I don't get it. And then they were hooked on the cheer series and were like, Sam, I get it. I get why you're so into it, and I get why your social media is always just you doing cheer, because that's all my life is. And I was like, finally, something that makes people get it. Was it the same in America?
That's actually really awesome too. I'm sure that's awesome because you went to America and cheered as well. So I'm sure they really realized why you took it so serious to do that. So I think that's really awesome. I will say I haven't had that as much because most of the people that are close to me already knew from me myself how serious it was and how much of just as much of a sport as anything else that it was. So I wouldn't say that I got those types of interactions as much. I would say people that don't know me at all, definitely more. I definitely think my social media base was mostly cheerleading. And I would say now it's definitely a big chunk of the real world, which is really cool because you have a much different type of opinions and point of views that you wouldn't think that you would have had before. So the people that comment on a big chunk of my stuff and like it are actually not even from the cheer world. So that's what I think is really cool.
Yeah, so it's taken it. It's finally, like in the UK, we had a few things that we thought were going to help, and they never really did. So I feel like this is taking it from outside the cheer world into normal. We call it the general population, because when you're in the little cheer bubble, you think everyone understands. But I think with especially being on Netflix, I feel like it was pushed to people who would never normally watch cheerleading, understand cheerleading, or even want to watch cheerleading. Like they were watching it. How cool was it? How cool was it that the amount of celebrity, what's it called? The celebrities that wanted to speak about it and get involved in it, and like they tweeted about it. How cool was that? Like, of a feeling.
I think it was really cool, especially because my friends got to do much more of that type of interaction. I mean, yes, meeting Ellen and meeting Oprah were really cool. That's the only two people that I really got to meet, but my friends did get to meet like a big chunk of people. I have had people like I don't know if people know who Tommy is off of 13 Reasons Why, and like Paula Abdul and people like that who do follow me and like comment on my stuff and like my stuff, which is really, really cool. Um, I would say what's more cool about that is I don't think that we've ever gotten to that actual level until now. So I think the cool thing about it is that even people that are high up, that it's harder to really reach them in that type of, impact emotionally. Because I definitely think emotionally that the show definitely drawed out some celebrities into, wow, like look how much they're willing to sacrifice for this sport that people look as a bring it on, which is obviously not a bring it on.
Yeah,
And even the bring it on cast, literally tweeted about the show and said that it was so awesome that it had a great interpretation of the more serious part of it instead of the scripted part of it that people want it to be like. So that's
yeah.
cool.
That's what I loved. That it was like it was quite worrying. Obviously, not knowing. Like obviously, when I'd seen you in the year or whatever, you couldn't speak about it, so we couldn't actually find out how it was going to be portrayed. But the way it portrayed the hard work, the injuries, and obviously it's not great to always talk about injuries, but I think it is with our sport because people don't see it as athletic and dangerous. So to push the injuries and the actual how severe things can be if it goes tits up, if it all goes wrong, I think it was great that the documentary didn't hone in on that, but it showed a lot of the sacrifices of cheerleading, not the bad
The
sides, the
push.
sacrifices. Yeah, yeah, yeah. When we say to people we're going full out or we're pushing, and people outside of it don't understand, they now understand.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely important. I think the difference was a lot of people did see like that there were injuries because they thought that we were just so dumb and that we were just so careless and that we weren't like knowing what we were doing. Really, I feel like they just looked at cheerleaders as like the dumb type of stereotype, and that's why they would get injured. So I feel like this actually showed the real reasons why and that we still push through them. um, and I would say that it actually kind of showcased that we push through it even more unhealthy than regular sports, because regular sports they would say, sorry, you're on the side, like you're not going to be able to keep playing. And we kind of were like, that you're all we got, so you're gonna have to go. I'm sorry, like we're gonna have to push this through, like. And we wanted to as well. And I would say that those athletes would in other sports as well, but they don't even get the option because they take it so like, oh no, like you can get more injured. But we were like, you know what, like this is what it takes, like you're gonna have to push through it, like wrap it up, I'm sorry. So I definitely think that's what also pushed it, as which it did have kind of a negative connotation for some people. Like some people were saying that we were too like we were taking it too far, which I would say there's no such thing as taking it too far unless your leg is literally cut in half and you're, I don't know, crawling across the floor. Like, I think if you care about it that much, you should be able to do anything. To
There was a sketch show, wasn't there, that did a sketch like that, and the dude, was it the girl had her leg cut off, and they were like, "You got to go again." That is an American sketch show, weren't it?
yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, I can still.
They did a lot of those. They were really funny. They were really funny.
It's like, Monica, I can go again. It's fine, and it's like in a full cast.
Yeah, I think that's Saturday Night Live.
But I don't think those people that were saying it's too far are probably people who have never been either high level cheerleaders or are even involved in cheerleading, because when you love something so much, you're not being paid for it. And if you've got a slight muscle tear and someone could just take your space like that, or there is no one to take your space, it's a complete different mindset you have to have. Like, one, do you want to let your team down? Or two, do you just not, you don't want to lose your opportunity of competing? Like, when something like Daytona could be someone's got life goal. Like, yeah, they wanted to go to Navarro, but Daytona could have been their life goal. And that's when you start thinking irrationally of, well, yeah, I'm injured, but I want to go to Daytona. And I think people outside of cheerleading don't understand that. They're like, well, yeah, your health comes before it. And it's like, well, sometimes you'd have to sacrifice your health, I think. And because you've got no one to take your spot in cheerleading, because we haven't got numerous amounts of people that are all as good as each other. Like football, people come in and out and they have a sideline of people, whereas in cheer, it's not very often you have substitutes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I love the moment, I know it was horrible to see, but the moment that Alex had to come in at Daytona and showed like what a substitute could do. Like, I thought that was, because being a cheerleader, I was like, that pressure is so much more. If you're already on the team, there's pressure, but just to be thrown in, like, I don't know what that pressure must have felt like, but
I would say he definitely was. I mean, he was the reason why we won hands down, because if we didn't have him, we would have lost. But I would say that's why I always like stress like to other people, like, this is why you should always be so high intensity, always so high pressured at every practice, because I'll be honest, it might have seemed like it was like, oh my God, there's no way he's gonna do this, but like, it was kind of more like we didn't even think that he wasn't going to not do it. Like, it wasn't even like oh, it might fall. Like, it was like okay, like, all he has to do is shoulder stand. Like, that's the easiest. Like, he literally, like, and it's crazy, like, because to the normal public eye, you would think, oh my gosh, like, if he messes up one thing. But to us, one, he's already done the spot before. Two, he has to do nothing else besides throw a basket. So, not taking away from his awesome thing that he did, but I would say that's why, we are so successful, because that was like nothing. Like, that wasn't even that was like, yeah, it was maybe a little stressful because Austin, did tear his ankle, and that did take a little bit of the effect of the routine out when you don't have that tumbling in and that's extra stunt going. But I would say that's why in whatever sport you do, you should always be high pressured into your practices and high intensity, and always letting people know, like, you should be ready for thing, because I actually think that we were so easily prepared for that moment, and we were. I mean, we did it in a matter of 10 minutes. I mean, that's 10 minutes to do a routine like that, or a pyramid like that, and baskets like that. That's not, I feel like not a lot of people would be prepared for that, because they wouldn't realize, beforehand, anything can happen, and you have those people, that are ready. I mean, I feel like typical people that are on the side, they typically, just sit there or maybe do something every now and then because they just want to, be there for fun, because
yeah.
that's all they feel like they're going to be.
So they're not. Whereas like Navarro or top level, it's I'm training because I could get put in or I'm going to get put in at some point. So they keep their intensity up. Whereas like other teams wouldn't be ready for it as such. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So what was it like? Well, it made for good TV, put it that way. It made for good viewing. Um, what was it like being followed with the cameras at the school and having your cameras in the gym and stuff all the time?
I'll be honest.
There were some big
It
ass cameras.
wasn't. Huh?
There were some big ass cameras. Like they had the booms and the cranes. And
Yeah, they had a lot more than all that too. I actually didn't think it was that weird. I didn't. I actually, it felt really normal. I would say maybe for a few days, and then after that, it was just like
you just
it
got
was
used to it.
normal.
How,
Absolutely, it was
how
not.
long? How long did it actually? It went on for the whole. Was it the whole season from tryouts till Daytona or no?
No, January to Daytona.
Oh, good 4 months, 5 months,
Yeah, 4 months.
4 months. Did it make
Yeah,
practice
and not
more?
even a full 4 months.
Did it make practice more intense?
No,
So it didn't
it
feel like
really didn't. It didn't change anything. The only thing it might have changed is maybe how people tried to be while they were rolling, maybe. Like maybe they weren't going to chew someone out as hard as you normally would or go as crazy. That's the only thing that it might have changed. I would say it actually made it less intense because I would say practices could get pretty crazy. And even though they might have seemed like it on the show, they get way crazier than that. So I would say it did the opposite. I would say it was less crazy because it's not like an actual scripted like acting where you have to portray a certain, like you're just being yourself and you're just doing cheerleading. You're just not doing like a Love Island type of thing where you're like trying to like talk to the camera about blah blah blah. Like it's mostly you actually just doing your thing. So I would say it didn't change that much.
fair enough. Who's the biggest diva on Navarro?
Mm.
You could do a girl diva and
Describe okay.
you could do a girl diva and a boy
Describe your
diva if you want.
describe the type of diva you mean.
So making situation like bigger out of situations.
Ladarius.
I did think that's who you were gonna say. What about
Um,
female one?
mm, I'll be honest. The girls are much more chill than the boys. Way more chill than the boys, actually. I wouldn't say there's really a girl actually at all. I would say, uh, no, there really wasn't a girl diva. I would say the only girl that would say something to someone in front of everyone would be Lexi, maybe. But she's not a diva at all. She's just real.
Yeah, she seemed proper down to earth. Like what you
Yeah,
saw is what you got type comments.
absolutely.
That's cool, man.
She just wouldn't let anyone talk smack to her. She would say something no matter where the camera, no matter what cameras were rolling.
Yeah, so she's seen all that type of girl. Like you're getting it, and whatever she's saying, she's not gonna say sorry. She's not gonna apologize. She's telling the truth, but then you could be a friend again. Like she would just say it and then be cool, right? She seems like that kind of girl.
Absolutely. She is definitely like that. She's the best.
Well, I find that's what you Americans are all like. That's what I struggled with for the first couple of months in America, where like you guys will say something, and then 20 minutes later, it's like, "Yo, Sam, you're coming to get lunch," and I'm like, "What? You were just beating down on me and being really nasty." Whereas in like England, like you'd hold a grudge for like, I hate Dillon now. I'm not talking to him until he apologizes. Or whereas in America,
Yeah.
you felt like it was there and then. You just say it as it is, and then it's like, cool, yeah, let's go grab lunch. And then you're like, what? You hate
I
him?
low key feel like though that I feel like there would be I feel like rugby players or something like that would be like that. I feel like they would talk smack during practice like that and then just be like, all right, like, let's go. I really feel like they would. I feel like maybe the general public of the UK, maybe not. But I definitely think a lot of lads are like that, low key. I feel like
Yeah,
when you put girls in the mix, then it changes.
it was weird for me to get like used to, but then I kind of got used to it and saw how that was a bit of a soft side to the UK, where we take things to heart. Like, oh no, you'd say something and then I'd be like, oh, why does Dylan think that about me? Like, oh, does Dylan not like me? And like you keep thinking about it. Whereas in America, you say something to someone and then they forget about it. They're like, what? Yeah, cool. Like, it's irrelevant. I'll see you at next practice.
Yeah. I definitely would say a lot of the cheer world is like that, and a lot of the cheer world isn't like that. I would actually say there's a lot of the cheer world that is like what you're saying, where if you say one little thing, it's the biggest end of the world for half the year.
Yeah. So what was it like being on a college team and an all-star team? What were the differences?
Um, a college team we practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. An all-star team we practice Sunday, Monday, or Sunday, Wednesday. So the only times that we would do multiple times, like 3 times a week or 4 times a week, would be like right before the nationals. I mean, like a week or two. So a big difference is the amount of times that you practice. I would also say the difference is you only see those people every now and then of the week, and when you're on a college team, you are spending every single day together, every single day. So it's a lot more of an intimate type of situation. I mean, that is all the time. So I would say there's a lot of big differences. I mean, it's spring floor against hard floor. It's flipping stunts against, not flipping stunts. I mean, you can do a rewind now in level 6, technically, which is typically what you would compete. Yes, there's claw 6, but you can still claw 6. I say that because, well, now 7. So level 7, but that's still, spring floor and doubling and a different vibe of cheerleading in general. I would say, I mean, you're competing, a good amount of the year. In college, it's one time. I mean, that's all you get. You get one weekend, and that's all it is. So it's completely two different types of worlds. I would say there's not really any similarities besides you're doing some skills that are the same. I mean, how long the routine is different. The requirements are different for what you have to do. You are a stunter or a tumbler. Some very few people are both. So it's really just a different complete type of world that you would want. I definitely think there are people that will literally not do college because they love All Star so much. And I used to kind of be like that until I fell in love with Navarro, and I'm glad that I did. But I would say you can love both. You can love both for sure, but there are definitely people that are one or the other. There are so many college people that would never do All Star as well. So it's a big difference.
That's cool because I suppose closest to college I've done is Team England. So that's dead floor. But that was
That's
all.
very similar, actually.
Yeah, and you get the same. You can get the same people there too, where I'm not doing. That's dead floor. I'm not doing Team England. Like, and they just stick to their all-star, and I never understood that. So it's probably the same sort of crossover, not as high intense Team England as Navarro, but that's probably the closest to college that I would get. So you were on Wildcats, right? How many seasons
Yes.
did you do on Wildcats?
I did 3 seasons.
What was your favorite season?
My first year, 100%.
2000 and
Literally 16. It was like it was meant to be type of season. I mean, out of all the entire competitions, and I'm pretty sure we competed at 8, which would be almost 16 performances, because I'm sure we had one that was in a 2-day. We dropped 1 stunt. that entire year. And we went undefeated. I mean, we got grand at Worlds. So I would say, yes, the winning was a plus, but the fact that we were so checked in all the time and we had no drama on that team ever, that was hands down my favorite year. I mean, that year was meant to happen. Like it was
No
like you could
drama with
feel
you
it
on the
in your
team,
spirit.
Dillon.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. You must have
What a
been a
shocker.
quiet Dillon then. Was you quiet Dillon then?
Absolutely. It was my first year on cheer athletics, coming from Spirit, Texas. So I was not. Well, I did charge up my son group a lot, but that's because we
What
had to be the
was that the first year you came to the UK, or was it
no,
2017?
yeah,
2017.
20. Mhm.
How did that come about?
Because so Ryan's supposed to be on the team 2016. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, 2016, and no, he's supposed to be on it 2017.
Yeah, Ryan Cleaver,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Ryan
supposed to be on
Cleaver.
it 2017. And so he came down and we stunted. And I actually found a video of us stunting, which was crazy, the other day, actually, for the first time since it happened. And he asked me randomly after Worlds, no, probably a little bit before Worlds, that if I wanted to come to the UK and all this cool stuff. And obviously it ended up happening, and to cheer on Coventry Dynamite. And of course, I took the opportunity because I've always wanted to go to England, and it actually ended up being something so special because going to England uh, actually created like a second home to me that actually feels like my first home sometimes. And so Coventry Dynamite is definitely a blessing, 100% in my life. And I would say I'm so blessed that I have gotten different experiences every time I've came as well. It hasn't been the same type of experience. And I would say that I will cherish every experience that I have. It's literally crazy, all the things that's happening in the world. I think that's crazy as well. So that's already going to create another type of different experience that's going to happen. So um, I think it's absolutely amazing. In England, I if I could get a citizenship in England, I would cry because I would be there a half as much as I would be in America, if not more.
That's one, nice to hear you. Nice to hear you say about my country. Two,
Yeah.
nice to say about Coventry too. Um, I mean, it's been good to have you here. The years I was on the team, it was good. Once we got used to you, it was good to have you on the team. I think my first
I mean,
season, not knowing Americans, and you just came in, it was very like this big explosion of Americanness. Like, all right, okay, you walking into my house, into our team, like, whoa. I think there quite a few people were a bit like, but especially going to America actually helped me because I
I
got
mean,
I
I
got
feel like it would be like that in any sport. I mean, I feel like if you were trying to do football, American football in England, and an American football player came to England and everyone did do it for fun, but they had the capabilities of being successful. I think the same thing would happen because that American football player would be like, what the hell are y'all doing? Like, why are you not like trying to be the best that you can? Why aren't you pushing this hard? Like, so obviously it was going to be like that because the type of level that y'all were pushing and the type of level that I was only going to be associated with was, I think, the big thing to it. And I think of it like this, like I would rather have someone care so much and not care about people's feelings because they want to make them better than someone that, I could have been, an American that was just looking for an experience, just trying to have fun, just happy that I was in England, dropping my stunts, busting my tumbling, but hey, we're having fun. I mean, it's me coming into the country. I mean, I feel like that would have been a much more worse type of experience than having to get used to someone that has such passion, because no matter, even though that year might have been hard, I would definitely say that that attitude definitely mutated into Coventry Dynamite for sure. I
Oh,
think the seriousness
yeah, 100%.
and the vibe
One,
for sure definitely got picked up, because I can see it throughout the coaches, I can see it throughout the athletes, and I love it because look at the uh great impact that Coventry is now to then. Like, yes, Coventry Dynamite was still the best, and I will always say that, was still the best in the country then. But now, like, absolutely in more aspects. I mean, go from a low level to a higher level, and they're still doing amazing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the push of how much cheerleading is evolving in America to how much that Coventry Dynamite has been evolving, I definitely believe 100% in my heart that God had that happen for a reason. Like, I definitely believe that God put me like to Coventry Dynamite for that exact reason. I mean, because Coventry Dynamite deserves to be in that type of, push. And that's why I think, God sent you down to, America, because now you're coaching. And I think that it's set you up to be, the type of coach that you want to be.
yeah, 100%. I think when you came over and the way you were, I think a lot of people and coaches wanted to be like that, but it was never accepted in the UK to be that intense. So then when you came over and it was like, oh, okay, well, that's how the rest of the world are doing it. Maybe we need to follow suit. It was like the UK are like that. We don't step out first as such. I think with a lot of things, not just cheer. So for you to come over and be
Yeah.
like that, it was like, okay, so it's acceptable to be that direct, and it's acceptable to be that intense. Let's be like that. And then, like you say, the coaches start doing it, so then the athletes start doing it, and it just creates that big follow-on effect, which 100% it's had a positive.
And now I've
How
got a globe. Now Emo has a globe from the cheerleading world championships.
how nervous were you your first time competing in the UK? Did you find any nerves?
Yeah, I would. My problem is I already have anxiety problems in general, which a lot of people don't know. So even though I was competing at a local rinky-dink competition in the UK, which was our first one, I was probably just as nervous as if I was competing for like a bid in America for sure.
Damn, you got me there. Like you told me you struggle with anxiety, and I was just about to say, is that why you jumped out of place? You can't make me feel sorry for you and then dig at you.
I know,
You
but
got me
I
there.
do.
I was like lining
That's
myself
why I
up.
wear a sweater. Every day I wear a sweater. Fun fact, the reason why I wear a sweater every day is because of my anxiety problems.
Wow, that's mad. I never knew that.
Yeah. It makes me feel like I'm being cuddled, as y'all would say. So it makes me feel better. Like, it makes me feel like better about situations.
Oh, so listeners or viewers, every time you see Dylan in the UK now, you have permission from me to cuddle him. Don't even ask him. Just cuddle him.
I need them. Give me all the cuddles. Like, I don't even care. Anyone, any random stranger.
Hey, it's a nice hoodie
I'll
though.
probably do it. Okay. Thanks. I got it from, where did I get this from? From Zara.
So yeah, did you feel that? So obviously you get performance errors anyway, but you were very nervous for that first competition, which probably forced that error
Which error? I can't remember.
when you jumped in the wrong space and made the whole team jump in the wrong space.
uh, that was the worst thing ever. Oh my gosh, I was so embarrassed.
So if you
That
were
really was so embarrassing.
if you were scared and nervous, then I feel for you because obviously it wasn't just the team that came for you. There was other people outside of that, and you did feel quite devastated. I know you did.
I know. I'm used to it though. Like I'm used to like obviously definitely social media attacking for sure. I would actually, fun fact, I would actually say the social media attacking sometimes might like get to me in my head because it, make me upset or whatever. But I definitely think I've gotten that down packed better than anything else. I feel more bad when I let my teammates down. When I let my teammates down, that's the worst. Like it literally I don't even know, dude. I've like it's like I've dropped at Worlds before. I have on day one, and that was so hard for me to like grasp the fact that that happened, even though it was just day one. Doesn't carry over. Um, but yes, anyone that has anxiety problems, I feel you so much, and all you have to do is every single day remember what makes you happy and what your purpose is. And 100%, I promise you, if you keep remembering like why you keep pushing through, you will 100% beat it more every single year. 100%. And I will say, talking about it, yeah, it is good to talk about it, but I would definitely say like, not trying to show it as much and trying to like, be as strong as I can and try to be myself definitely helps it because I don't think anyone ever notices it. I really, unless they're my close friends. My close friends definitely know because backstage, like I talk to myself, I can't hug anyone, I walk like a straight line and back, straight line and back, straight line and back, over and over and over and over and over, and think about routine over and over and over. That's
Dylan,
that's when they know. I definitely think majority of people don't know.
do you think that when like you care about letting your team down, do you think that comes slightly from that you feel comfortable with a team? So being with a team helps your anxiety. So then when you do let them down, you don't feel as comfortable as such.
I don't feel as comfortable with what?
So like maybe if you were anxious about competing on your own, you wouldn't have the team around you. So does the team make you feel comfortable? So that when you do let them down, you're like letting down your comfort zone as such. Or if you do drop a stunt or
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense.
so
Yes,
it
I
get
would say that that is true for sure.
so it gets
I
to
w-
you a
I
lot
w-
more.
I would say if it was a team that I did not have a bond with as much and that did not worry with as much, um, this might sound weird, but I would actually say I'm more nervous when I compete beforehand. But uh, because I when I like am really comfortable with a team and I have a very good vibe with the team and I believe in the team much more, I would say that I trust in them so much that I feel like because I know that they're doing good and I can see them doing good, that I'm gonna do good. I would say when a team that isn't like I'm worried about this person and this person or worried about all these things, I would actually say I don't do as well. I really don't do as well. And I feel like anyone would probably be like that. Some people it doesn't matter. Some people are they are all themselves. Like they are just gonna do themselves. They're not worried about anyone else. But I feel like that's also the problem with some teams is they don't actually realize the closer you are together and you trust in each other and you do enough reps to the point that you believe in each other, that's really the only way that you're going to have the most confidence. And I would say some people believe that it's just I got it or I don't got it. And you can say that, but it's a team sport at the end of the day. So I would say for people that do like don't realize why teams that are so talented don't always work, it's because y'all don't have that bond, and bonds are so important in cheerleading. Like they're more, I would say they're more important than talent. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think that's why cheer becomes your life as such because you get you get friendships and you're so close. It's not just like you're kicking a ball around with each other. You put your life in someone else's hands, which creates a complete different human bond than just being on a team with someone and having to rely on them being good. Like, it creates so much more. I think that's why cheerleading is it's a great sport for kids to get into, to create life lessons about anything, like pushing, working hard, working as a team, bonding with people. Because if you're not bonding with no one, it's not gonna work. It's just not gonna work.
And I think a good example, like for the UK in general, like for the UK that we can both, say yes to would actually be this past year, because we did good the first day at Worlds, yes, but then the second day truly shown like all the work of the whole year on finals. Like, you can't just go 1 week beforehand and just be the best team that you can be. And I would say because of that hardship and that kind of separation a little bit, because I sure was not putting up with that, which separated me a little bit more from the team because of how upset I was and frustrated and whatever. If you go to our last performance, when we knew, like, after all those practices, all those hard practices, still a bad performance in Jam Fest, everything, still a iffy performance, the first performance at Bournemouth, it was good, but it wasn't great. That shows you right there that a bond doesn't necessarily also mean that you're best mates. It does not. It means that you have a respect for each other and for what you're wanting and what y'all are going towards. Because I feel like all of us like finally realized that it wasn't just about us. It wasn't just about ourselves. It was about the whole program as a whole, because we definitely had the best performance of the entire competition. I mean, you go from Ammo, who literally got a bronze gold in a bronze medal in one of the hardest divisions, literally at Worlds, hands down. That division is one of the hardest divisions, and we did it, and we are some of us best mates with each other. No, I would say there are a good amount of people from that team that still do not even speak to each other, but they will always remember that performance because we still did it with each other. We still made it happen because regardless, we realize it's for Coventry Dynamite. It's for Sarah. It's for Laura. It's not for us. It's not just for us. We need to do it for ourselves, but it wasn't just for us. It was for the people that still show up to our practices, even though how terrible that we're being. So that is an example right there of Coventry Dynamite itself, which is a UK team that has done that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, yeah, I get that. Like, as soon as you might have felt it because you didn't join them until Worlds. Like, when I came back, and I felt outcasted in my own program for a good 4 or 5 weeks. And that's probably what you're talking about. Is obviously I wasn't there day 2 of Worlds, so I didn't know what it felt like. Or that's probably what you're on about, is that it wasn't accepted as a team. It was more individual, and, well, who do you think you are, and who do you think you are, and whereas, like, we got to Bournemouth, and I didn't feel like that. I felt accepted. There was nothing, no talking going on, nothing like that, and it was all, let's go win Bournemouth, let's go get a bid. So yeah, I get what you're on about there. So season 2 of Cheer, they were in the making, right? What happens now?
I don't know.
Oh, come on, Dillon. Yeah, you do.
Oh no. Nope.
So
I'm sorry.
So there is a season 2. There's not a season 2.
I don't know. And I will say, on my little brother's grave, I don't know that, actually. None of us know.
I thought I was going to get in there, guys. I thought I was going to get into
I
slip.
really don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. No one knows. I mean, if literally we just had one of the worst, when was the last time something like this happened where nationals gets canceled in this big coronavirus thing? So we don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know. And if there is, it probably would be the next year. So I don't know.
Awesome. Well, thanks for coming on, Dillon. That was a
Of
wicked chat.
course, and I love you very much, and I'm glad that I got to talk.
Yeah, man, that was a wicked chat, and I love it. I like that you became vulnerable. That was pretty cool. I've never seen this side to Dillon Brant before. It was pretty
That's
cool.
me. I mean, when you get me outside of the gym, I mean, I'm a normal person.
I know it was nice though. It's good. I think it's good listening and viewing for people too, to hear people from the top as such. And definitely in the UK, you are well respected as a top athlete. For you to talk about maybe they did see that performance at BCA 2016, 2017, 16, 17, 17, and now they understand it. They're not just like, oh, okay, well, the top people can mess up. It's more like, well, maybe the top people have other issues as well as just the pressure of being a top athlete. And I think that was really nice of you to share. I think that will help a lot of youngsters out to know that it's okay. It's okay to feel anxious. It's okay to be scared. So I think that was
Absolutely, and I hope it does.
That was a really nice point to share.
Okay, well, I love you, and I can't wait to see you at the gym because I feel it in my heart that it's gonna start going better within these next months, and hopefully we get to compete at Bournemouth. Because if that happens, I will literally be so happy. You don't even know.
Oh, so I was speaking to someone who's part of Future Cheer, and we were discussing like what it would be if it could happen. And I said it should just be a massive, like, we should compete, but not against anybody. We should just compete. And it should be like a giant festival and party of like, we got through this and we still got to cheer. And they were like, okay.
But you have to get bids and stuff.
Yeah, so they could, yeah, but what teams are going to be ready? What about the
It doesn't
carrying
matter. You have to have bids. How are you going to go to Worlds?
Well, maybe they can carry the bids on from this year.
Well, I guess they're figuring that out if that's going to happen. I don't know.
They're not going to be able to afford to pay double the amount of bids.
Who?
Like, so see if they did a bid round again, well, the argument is, well, what about the team that deserved their bid this year? So then they do a second round of bids. You're going to have to pay for 2 lots of bids.
They won't have to because they had to give that money back.
But then what about the team that says, well, we deserve to go this year?
Like the one that already got paid?
Yeah. Like,
well,
they'll carry it
first
over.
of all, I will say this: Future Cheer can definitely afford it for the amount that they give, so they don't need to worry about that. They need to give a real pay bid is what they need to do.
Okay, so
before they need to worry about that.
Before Dillon upsets the UK cheer industry and one of the biggest EPs out there, I'm going to say bye. And hopefully I will see you in the gym soon. And hopefully I will see you in the gym soon. Thanks for coming on, and I'll see you soon, Dillon.
Love you.
Love you too, man. See you later.